Hello, welcome back. I'm Nancy Halasic, here to practice a little bit of yoga with you today. I know we've been away from each other for a long time, many months now, so it's really good to be back with you remotely and safely for the time being. So we'll get a little practice in here in just a minute. I know we've been living through really crazy and challenging times, and we know that our yoga practice can really help us. The deep breathing that we do, the slow repetitive movements that we do when we're warming up, all help to calm down the physical body and also to quiet our minds. So let's go ahead and begin. Remember, as you're practicing here today, you never have to do all of the postures or the full expression of the postures. Just do your best. Start where you are today and do your best. Remembering to challenge yourself a little bit, but also to really respect any limitations that you might have. So we'll go ahead and begin. We're going to start in the seated mountain pose, so we want our toes and our knees to track straight ahead. We're going to sit tall on the chair. Really feel the feet pressed gently into the ground beneath us and extend up through the sternum and the crown of the head. We go into a relaxation period at the beginning of class just to center ourselves and to calm ourselves down. And we do that just by closing the eyes and moving inward, trying to find that place of peacefulness within us. It's always there, we just often lose sight of it. So by closing the eyes and doing some nice deep breathing, we can release, relax, and let go. Let go of any cares from the outside world for the next hour or so. We'll just focus on what we're doing and what we're feeling. We want the breath to be nice and deep. You can place one hand on your belly, one hand on the heart center if you'd like, and focus on filling the lungs completely from the bottom to the top. Breathing diaphragmatically. When you do so, the lungs, when they fill, they'll press down on the diaphragm and your tummy will actually move out just a little bit. So use this deep breathing to calm yourself. We release and relax the physical body, we quiet the mind. No thoughts about the past or the future. We just bring ourselves present into the now and live then from moment to moment. We'll stay in this quiet, peaceful place now just for a minute or so as we prepare for our practice today. And now we'll gently bring our awareness back to the room, to this place and time. We'll slowly open the eyes, but we'll keep our focus soft, keep the gaze within. Again, just focusing on what we're doing and what we're feeling as we do the different movements. We start very gently warming up the body, the upper body first here. So I'm going to come forward just a little bit on my chair. I'm sitting tall. I'm going to extend my fingertips down towards the floor and then just start with our gentle shoulder shrugs. So we draw the shoulders up towards the ears, squeeze the shoulder blades back behind us, and come down and around. Again, up, back, down and around. Let's do two more. Up, back, down and around. Just working out any tension, any tightness we might be holding in this area. Back at center now, we'll draw the shoulders up and come forward, down and around, feeling that stretch on the upper back now. One more in this direction. And then we'll go in reverse again, up, back, down and around. Just trying to set our posture with those shoulders back and down. Feels so good. And then we'll just turn the palms forward. We'll move into our sun breaths, connecting breath with movement. Inhaling up, here you can take the gaze up if you do like. On the exhalation, turn your palms outward and slowly bring those arms back down. Again, inhaling up, imagine you're moving through some resistance. Exhale down. We'll do a few more of these. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Any limitations in the shoulders, just raise the arms up as far as you safely and comfortably can. Coming up, this time we're going to wiggle the fingers and the thumbs as we bring the hands back down, warming them up a bit. Inhaling up, we'll add wrist rotations. Palms forward, inhale up. Bring the palms together in prayer position, press them firmly together, and then bring them back in front of the heart center. Now we're going to inhale up and exhale out and around. Inhaling up, exhaling out and around. Allowing energy to move up the spine. Beautiful, graceful movements. And one more here. And then we'll bring the hands back together at the heart center and then release them to the lap. We know we want to work every part of the body in this class, so we're going to work the neck next, and we'll do that by just gently tucking the chin toward the chest. Do keep a little bit of space between your chin and your chest. Breathe into the stretch between the shoulder blades and then up the back of the neck. And then with your chin still tucked, we're going to rotate it over toward the left shoulder. Feel how the stretch changes there. Draw the chin back to center. Now you're going to sweep the chin over toward the right shoulder. Hold over here. Chin is still tucked. We're breathing deeply. And then we draw the head back to center. The chin is still tucked here. We're going to do a scooping and upward movement with the chin to work the neck. On the inhalation, scoop forward and up. Just take the gaze up gently. Try not to over-arc the back of the neck. And then on the exhalation, bring the chin back down. Again, inhale, scoop forward and up. Exhale, back down. We'll do one more. Inhale, scoop forward and up. Exhale, back down. And then draw the chin up so you are parallel to the floor. We're going to look side to side with the chin parallel to the floor. On the inhalation, look off to your right, over that right shoulder. Stay here and breathe. Over time, see if you can get your gaze a little bit farther back, but don't force anything. We say yoga is a journey, so just, again, start where you are and do what you can today. And then we'll bring the head back to center. Now we're going to inhale as we look off to our left. Hold over here, keep breathing. And draw the head back to center. Next, we'll take the ears towards the shoulders. We'd like to keep the neck nice and long and hold the shoulders down to get the greatest stretch here. We're going to inhale up and over, your right ear moving toward the right shoulder. Hold over here, keep breathing. If you want to add a little extra stretch, you can take your right hand, place it above the left ear, and just let the weight of the hand increase the stretch a bit. You don't want to really pull or force the head down. And then you can lift and come back to center. Now we'll go to the other side. Again, the neck is long, the shoulders are down. Inhale up and over, left ear moving toward the left shoulder, getting that beautiful stretch from your ear all the way into that shoulder area. Again, if you choose, you can place the left hand above your right ear and just add a little extra stretch. And then we can release and come back to center. Now we'll take the fingers and place them at the base of the head, just above your neck. You're going to press the fingers into the back of the head and the head into your fingers. So in this manner, we're working the neck isometrically to strengthen it. And then you can release and bring the heels of the hands now to the eyebrow area. Press in and press back. And then we'll release the left hand and take the heel of the right hand above your right ear. Press in and press back. And then we'll release and we'll take the heel of the left hand. Press in and press back. Beautiful, simple ways to strengthen the neck. Now we'll get up from the chair and do a little bit of energizing work before we move on. Remember, you can stay seated if you have to, if you choose to, and just mimic the movements as much as you can from the chair seat. That will be beneficial to you. So I'm going to come up to standing, and I'll take my chair out of the way just a bit here. And we're going to start by just marching in place, lifting the legs, working the big muscles of those legs, and pumping the arms. You can do this a lot longer when you're at home if you choose. It's a good way to warm the body up if you can't get outside and do some exercise outdoors. Then we're going to do the ragdoll pose, an actual yoga pose where all you do is shake and twist. You can tap the body a little bit here. If you don't have any shoulder issues, you can bring those arms overhead like you're swimming. Perhaps do the backstroke, perhaps do the crawl. Cross over the midline of the body a little bit. And then tapping again. Trying to get every cell within you moving. And then we're going to do a cross-country ski movement. One arm in front, one behind. Softly bend the legs and stretch out through those arms. A good stretch for the arms and the hands, but also for the side body. You can actually imagine you're holding ski poles here. Get a slightly different movement going. Crossing over the midline of the body. Coming back to center. And coming back to standing. And then we're going to step touch side to side to work the hips and the legs in a slightly different manner. So just gently step touch. Probably feel the heart rate going up a little bit. Come back to standing. Next we'll do our body circles. Extending the fingertips down towards the floor, bending the knees. We're going to sweep both arms off to the side, overhead and around. And then we'll move in the opposite direction. 3 or 4 times is good. And then a yoga movement called climbing to heaven. We imagine we have a ladder in front of us and we're going to climb up that ladder rung by rung. So we reach up and grasp and pull down. Be aware of how this is nicely working the sides of the body. And now for a moment, we're going to imagine that we have a fruit tree in front of us and we're going to pick fruit, and the fruit is everywhere on that tree. So we reach through, we grasp, and pull back. And of course, some has fallen to the ground, so we're going to pick that up as well. We'll come back up. And then we'll climb up the ladder again. And then we'll come back to standing, and we do something called body tapping, which is good for the sebaceous glands, the glands right underneath your skin, and also very good for lymph nodes and lymph glands. So extend the left arm out, the palm of the hand is down. We tap down the top of the arm and then up the inside. So gentle body tapping. Don't go too hard or you'll have black and blue marks on you tomorrow. And then we'll go off to the right side. Then we take the heels of the hands and just gently tap around the head, waking up the brain, getting rid of any brain fog. Gently tapping the crown of the head. Then move to your forehead. And then we're going to tap around the eyes. And then tip your chin up and go up and down the cheeks a few times. Above your upper lip, across the chin. And then take your fingertips and tap down the neck. Then we're going to take fists and go across the upper chest. If you're congested, you can drink a warm beverage and then do a little bit of this tapping here. And then we'll go down the side body as well. Again, lots of lymph nodes, lymph glands in these areas. We go across the midriff as well. And then we open the palms up wide. We go down the outside of the legs and come up the inside. Again, down the outside, up the inside. And then we make fists and we tap the tailbone area. A good thing to do if you've been seated for a long period of time. And just move those fists up slowly until you get to the middle back or the lower back, and then up to where your ribs are, lower ribs. And then we'll release. Let's take a nice sun breath here. And then we'll do our first real twist of the day, a standing twist. Again, we're standing nice and tall, toes and knees tracking ahead again, shoulders back and down in our mountain pose, grounded to the earth but extending upward. We're going to inhale and twist off to the right, taking the gaze and the right shoulder back, and then on your exhalation, bring yourself back to center. Inhale as you twist to the left, exhale back. Again, off to your right. Coming back to center. Off to your left. And back. And then one more time here to the right. One more time to the left. And then we're going to return to the chair, but we use what we call chair posture. So we want to make sure that that chair is right behind us. We stand in front of the chair seat, strong legs, contract through the core area here if you can, floating the arms out and then in front of us. Nice deep inhalation here. And then on the exhalation, just slowly come down to the chair seat. Beautiful way to strengthen the legs. Coming down slowly and then releasing gently to the chair seat. Very good. Take a moment just to check in with yourself. Again, we're developing that inner awareness. After we do something, we want to go inside and just ask ourselves the question, how did that feel? And how am I feeling right now? And then we'll work on toning the upper body here. So we're going to extend the fingertips down towards the floor. Palms are facing behind us, and then we're just going to press back into some imaginary resistance behind us. This nicely opens up the heart center. Heart and lungs can better do their work. Shoulder blades back and down. And then we'll just draw those fingertips down and then out in front of us. Reach away as much as you can. You want to create space in the arms and the hands. So we reach away, and then we start working the wrists. We'll bring the fingertips down towards the floor, and then bring the palms parallel to the floor. And then really press out through the heels of your hands, bringing your fingertips back as much as you can. That's nicely opening the carpal tunnel area. We'll bring the palms parallel to the floor again, palms down, palms parallel, and palms up again. Now palms parallel to the floor, we work the hands side to side. We come back to center, we cup the hands and spread the fingers and just do a little twisting movement, sort of like you're taking a lid off a jar. And then we're going to imagine picking up a beautiful scarf that's in front of us with the fingertips and the thumb tips. And then we'll just release down and we'll do another shoulder shrug here. We're going to work the arms and the shoulders a bit more. Helps us when we're in some of the standing postures like the warrior postures. We're going to extend the arms out. The fingers are pointed here. We'll just do a few circles forward and then a few in reverse. And then we come back to center and we make fists. We're going to see if we can tell a slight difference here with the hands, just in a little bit different position. So we'll come forward. We'll go in reverse. Now we'll come back to center and we press out through the heels of the hands, and we can come forward and go in reverse again. Come back to center, turn your palms up and just do a fluttering movement, just a slight movement. Turn your palms forward, flutter back and forth. Turn your palms down, flutter up and down a little bit. Then if you can, turn your palms back and flutter back and forth a little bit. And then come back to center and release. The arms are probably a little tired, so you just do a gentle shoulder shrug or two. And then we work the hands, and today we'll work each of the fingers. We don't always do this every class. This is a very simple exercise and something that's very good to remember to do occasionally. Bring the pad of the thumb to the tip of the pinky finger and press. You're strengthening the hands and the fingers just by pressing those two digits together. And then we'll move to the ring finger, and then move ahead to the middle finger, your index finger, and then we'll work the thumbs by rotating them in both directions. Want to keep these hands healthy. The palms are up. Now we're going to curl the fingers around. So we'll bring the pad of the thumb to the nail of the pinky finger and press gently. You'll feel that stretch on the back of the hand there. And then we'll move to each of the other fingers. And again, you can rotate your thumbs. And then we do a sliding movement that you'll probably feel in your wrist here. So the palms are up. We take the pad of the thumb to the pad of the pinky finger, slide along the length of it to your palm. And then again, rotate. Okay, very good. Then we're going to interlace the fingers. Note which thumb and index finger are on top. And we're going to just do some simple wrist circles. And then if you can, you can try an infinity sign or a figure 8 sign. And this will work up the lower arm just a little bit more. And then we'll come back and we'll recross, bringing the other index finger and thumb on top now. And we'll work the wrists out. Just simple circles at first. And then if you'd like, do that figure 8 movement. Again, be aware of where you're feeling a greater stretch now. And then we come back to center. We keep the fingers interlaced, but now we're going to turn the palms down, and we're just going to tug gently. One of the goals of yoga is to create more space in the body, more space in the joints. More space, there's less wear and tear. And then we're going to recross and tug gently again. And then bring the palms together in what we call prayer position or namaste. And you want to keep the heels of the hands really pressed firmly together here. We're going to inhale up. If you can, bring your forearms together. And then open the palms towards the sky, like a flower opening up to the sun. As you exhale, bring the palms back together and bring them back in front of the heart center. A beautiful fluid movement. Inhaling up, open to the sun. Exhale, back down. We'll do one more. Just follow your own breathing here. And then we'll release the hands to the lap. And now we'll start some side stretching. Really good to stretch out the sides of the body, stretch the muscles between the ribs, the intercostal muscles. So we'll hold on to the chair, left side of the chair with the left hand. We allow the right arm to float out. Then you're going to rotate that palm upward. Feel that rotation. And then on an inhalation, sweep that arm and hand overhead. And then you can tip gently off to the left and just hold here, keep breathing. Breathe into the side body. Again, when we stretch out like this, we're just helping the lungs and the heart better do their work. Then let's reach back up, turn the palm outward and release back down and take hold of the right side of the chair. Now your left arm is going to float out. We'll turn that palm up. We're going to inhale and sweep that arm overhead. As you exhale, tip off to the right now. Beautiful stretch on the left side of the body. From your hip through those fingertips. And then lift and come back to center, turn the palm outward and release back down. Very good. And then we'll bring the hands back to the lap for just a moment. When you're practicing at home, just try to stay in the postures for about 3 or 5 breaths. Over time, perhaps you can stay a little bit longer. Here in the class, we only have so much time, so we don't do quite as long a period of time in each movement. We'll move into a twist now, which is really beneficial for the spine and for all the internal organs. They get moved around a bit, they get compressed, and then when they release, they get a fresh supply of blood. So we're going to extend out. We're going to inhale and really grow the spine long, lift up. And then on the exhalation, we're going to twist off to the right. The left hand takes the outside of your right thigh, and your right arm goes out behind you as far as you safely and comfortably can. We'll take the gaze back. We breathe. And then we draw ourselves back to center. We'll float the arms out. Whatever we do on one side, we want to do on the other. So let's inhale and elongate. And then on the exhalation, twist off to the left. Now the right hand takes the outside of your left thigh, and your left arm goes out behind you. And then we'll bring ourselves back to center. Now we're going to do a cat-cow movement while we're seated on the chair. That just nicely works the spine forward and back. Again, we want to sit tall. We place the hands on the thighs, and when we move into the cat portion of this, we can really press into the thighs and help to round the back. For the cow portion, we're going to lead with the heart center. On the inhalation, press forward. And then as you start exhaling, press into your thighs, round the head down, and round the back like a cat. And then come upright again. Again, we'll inhale forward. Exhale back. And come upright. Let's do 2 more. Inhaling forward. Exhaling into cat. Inhaling into cow. Exhaling into cat, and then come upright again. And then we'll do a nice movement for the arms and the shoulders. This is called the wave. So the hands come back by the shoulders, palms facing forward. We're going to inhale as we ride that wave. And then as we break on the shore, we exhale, spreading those fingers and bringing the hands back. Again, inhale, ride that wave. Break on the shore. Again, ride the wave, feel the energy moving in you. And one more here. And release. Again, we'll come up to standing. Again, if you're feeling a little wobbly, you can go behind the chair if you choose. Again, you can stay seated if you need to, if you choose to. So we're going to do a series of exercises that just nicely works the spine. So we're going to stand tall in mountain again. Think of your feet as being the bedrock of that mountain. The legs are very strong. The tailbone tucks just a tiny bit towards the floor. You don't want to flatten that curve in the low back area. You want to keep that. So just a slight tuck. You're going to pull the navel in toward your spine, really strong core again, lifting through the sternum, lifting through the crown of the head or the peak of that mountain. Arms just relax at the sides of the body. Again, visualize a beautiful mountain here. And then we move into what we call prana arch, which is just turning the palms forward and lifting through the heart center slightly, taking the gaze up just a little bit. This is opening up the Sushumna, the main energy channel along the spine, so energy can flow beautifully throughout it and then throughout the entire body. Now we'll extend upward as far as the hands will go comfortably. We'll push the hips forward, and we're in now Hastasana, or hands to the heavens. The gaze can go up here. And then we're going to come upright and interlace the fingers, releasing the index fingers. We're going to have the upper arms back by the ears, so the arms are kind of framing our face. And we're going to move into the crescent moon posture. If you need to, you can have a slightly wider base here for stability. What we do first is tick-tock up a little bit just to get lots of length in the spine. And then on an exhalation, we're going to take the head and the hands off to the left. Try not to bend forward or back. And see if you can press your right hip out just a little bit. Again, keep breathing. Think of a beautiful crescent moon. And then we can come back to center. Again, swaying just a bit side to side, lengthen the spine here, and then we'll tip off to the right. Now you can allow your left hip to move out just a little bit. Beautiful crescent moon. And then we're going to come back to center. We can release the arms and take them slightly in front of us for the chair posture. Again, if the extension of the arms bothers you, you can stack forearms. You can take hold of your shoulders if you choose, or you could even bring your hands to your thighs if you need. I'm going to have my arms slightly in front of me. I'm going to take a nice inhalation here, and then on the exhalation, we'll softly bend those knees and sit on the chair that's not there. I'll turn so you can see this from the side. Arms extended up, soft bend in the legs. Buttocks back and down, sitting on the chair that's not there. When you look down now, you'd like to be able to see your toe tips. From here, we're going to go into the monkey pose. We take the hands to the thighs, we straighten out the legs a bit, and really press the sit bones back. You don't want to round over here. You want to keep the curve in the low back area. The gaze is just down at your mat. From here, we'll move into a full forward fold, but there's a caution for you here. If you have problems with the eyes, macular degeneration, or glaucoma, or any issue where you don't want extra pressure in the eyes, stay in the Hanuman pose. Otherwise, you can round the head down towards the floor. Hands can come down the front of the legs. Here's where you could use a block if you choose. You're going to shift your weight forward just a bit onto the balls of the feet and just let the head hang down. a beautiful stretch to the back of the legs here. And then to come out of the posture, we're going to take our hands to our shins, straighten out the torso, and then we're going to lift through the heart center as we come slowly up. And then we're going to take a nice sun breath here. And then we're going to return to the chair and do some back strengthening work. So I'm back in front of the chair. We always use that chair posture. Remember to practice this lots at home, a beautiful way, again, of strengthening the lower body. Arms in front of us now. Nice deep inhalation here. As you exhale, come slowly down to the chair seat. And release. Now we'll move into our back strengthening work. We hold the arms in positions that we usually do on the floor, but for this chair class, we're going to just do a forward bend with the arms in those positions. So the first one is called Cobra, and we're going to take the arms out and we're going to bend. We want the shoulder blades back and down, heart center nicely opened. You take a nice deep inhalation here, and then on the exhalation, you're going to come forward and down. The bend comes from the hip crease, not from the waist. And you don't have to come down very far. But with the arms in this position, you're really doing a nice job of strengthening the upper and the middle back. And then we'll inhale ourselves back up. We'll release the hands back to the lap. And again, take a moment to feel. Extending the fingertips down now, we'll turn the palms forward and we'll go into the locust posture here. Inhaling and elongating. On the exhalation, come forward and down. Reaching through the heart center and the crown of the head, but also extending back with those fingertips. Now we're concentrating a little bit more on strengthening the middle and the low back. And then we're going to slowly come up and just allow the hands to float back to the lap. They probably feel a little bit lighter after that stretch. Next, we move into what we call the goddess pose. So this is going to open up the hips a little bit. So we can come forward on the chair seat. That just makes it a little bit easier to get into the movement. And then we take the legs out at a diagonal. Perhaps you can line them up with the corners or the front legs of the chair. And then you're going to rock back and forth, feel the sit bones, rock back, feel the tailbone. That's the nice triangular base that we're seated on here for goddess. We're going to float the arms out and bend. And again, fingertips extending upward, crown of the head extending up, feet grounded to the earth. Keep the feet pressed in. You'll get more of a contraction in the legs then. And then in some of the classes, we use weights. So I'll just mimic the movements that we do here without the weights. So grasp those imaginary weights. We're going to press up and pull down. Again, press up, pull down. Again, up and down. And we can do a few more here. Then we're going to take the elbows in and out a few times. And then we'll draw the legs back to center. We'll imagine we have the weights again. Palms are facing your thighs. Inhale up and exhale down. Again, you can do more of these at home, and you can do a few sets of them. Then we're just going to turn our palms forward and come up and down here as well. And now we're going to come back to center and concentrate on working the lower body. We'll extend the right foot out in front of us, pressing out through the heel. Try to keep the midline of the toe tracking towards your second and third, the midline of your kneecap tracking towards the second and third toe. See if you can bring those toes a little closer to your shin. And release back down. And then we'll take the left foot up, pressing out through the left heel. And come down. Then we'll work the ankles, range of motion for the ankles here. Extending the right foot up, point and flex. You can do this many, many times at home, much longer. It's really a good way to work the ankles. And then you can do some rotations as well. And we want to do those in both directions. And then we'll bring that foot back to the mat and take the left foot up, point and flex. And do some rotations as well, both directions. And then we'll bring that foot back down. Sit securely on the chair now, and we'll take both feet up, pressing out through both heels. And then we'll just soften the tops of the feet, and we'll turn the instep up towards the ceiling and then down towards the floor. So strengthening and stretching the sides of the feet and the ankles to help some of those rollover accidents that we sometimes have, to help prevent them. And then we'll bring the feet back down. Now we go into what we call the wind relieving posture. We want to draw the right leg up and in towards the chest, trying to get a little compression on the upper body there if we can. Again, yoga is a journey. If the leg only comes up a little bit today, that's fine. Over time, you'll be able to get it closer in. If you do have knee issues, you take hold of the back of the thigh and you bring that leg up. And then you try to bring it in as much as you comfortably and safely can. The other leg tracks straight ahead and you sit nice and tall. And then we're going to take that leg a little bit to the outside. We'll come back to center. We'll take hold of the back of the leg. We're going to kick out a little bit. Pretty easy on the knees right now. We don't have any weight on that knee. We're going to do some circles with the lower leg. Again, this works the side of the knee a little bit, and we'll go in both directions here as well. Come back to center, kick out, extend out and down, and then we take the fingertips and just do a gentle knee massage here, working all around the knee capsule, getting synovial fluid and blood really nicely moving through that area. Lots of connective tissue in this area, so this is a good thing to remember to do. And then we take that leg back into alignment, and we take the left leg up and in. And then we're going to turn that leg, again, a little bit to the outside. Way to open the hips, stretch out the muscles in that area. Come back to center, hold the back of the thigh, again, kick out. Do a few circular patterns. Come back to center, kick out again, and then extend out and down and do a bit of a massage here. And then we can bring that leg into alignment as well. We're going to do just a little bit of a pigeon posture, which opens up the hip area again too. It's a good thing to do if you've been traveling any length of time in the car or in a plane. So we're going to take that leg up and cross the right ankle on top of the left thigh. If you don't have this mobility, just cross right ankle in front of the left and allow the legs to splay out a little bit. Here we're going to, again, draw the right ankle on top of the left thigh. We're going to sit nice and tall. You can take your right hand at this time and place it on the left thigh, or the right thigh, and see if you can press into it and open the hip up just a bit more. Avoid the knee area. That doesn't have much side-to-side mobility, so you want to press into the thigh itself. And then we're going to just take the hands to the hips or the waist. We're going to have a long spine, and we're going to come forward just a bit. Lead with your heart center. Feel this stretch in the buttocks and in the low back, especially on the lower right side here. Again, we want to keep the spine long here. Try not to round over. We're going to come forward a little bit more if that feels okay. Always check in with your own body. And if that feels okay, you can come a little bit farther forward. Beautiful stretch for that part of the body. And then we come back upright. We uncross the legs, and now we'll work on the other side. Take a moment just to feel, again, what was going on in the right side, what has gone on. And then we'll bring the left ankle up and cross it over the right thigh, or ankles crossed with left over right. Again, we sit tall. We feel the sit bones on the chair seat. We can take the left hand now and gently press it into the left thigh. Again, your opposite leg tracks ahead. And then we'll just take the hands to the hips again, long spine, leading with the heart center. Come forward and down. And then come back up. We'll uncross the legs. We'll do a few gentle chair-supported sun salutations here, and then we'll come up to standing and do a few standing postures as well. So arms are out to the side. We inhale up to salute the beautiful sun. On the exhalation, we come forward and down to honor the earth. We take the palms to the sides of the legs, lift through the heart center, and bring yourself back up. Again, inhaling up, exhaling forward and down, coming back up, and one more. Beautiful. And then we'll come up to standing. We'll do just a bit of balance work here first, and then go into the standing postures. So you can come behind the chair here for stability. Again, if you're staying seated, just do what you can to mimic the movements from the chair seat. So we're going to do toe raises here. Your fingers can rest on the back of the chair for stability if you need. Otherwise, we're just going to rock forward and back on the feet. Again, nicely working the feet, the ankles, the lower legs. And then we'll just turn the feet out to the side so the feet are splayed outward a bit, and come up and down a few times. And then we're going to step the feet back together. We'll come to the right side of the chair, and we're going to do the standing posture called crane. Again, you can always keep a hand on the chair back if you need. We're going to be standing well grounded on the left foot, and we're going to take our wings out. Again, one hand on the chair if you need it. And then we're going to see if we can bring that right foot up off the floor. It's good to find a focal point when you're doing the balance work. Again, when you're practicing at home, you can stay in the movement much longer. We're going to do an adaptation or modification of the Warrior 3 pose, which is a balance pose, one of the harder ones to do. We're going to stand on the left foot, make sure it's nicely grounded. Again, your hand can be on the chair back or the chair seat, whatever works for you. We're going to take the right leg out behind us and try to bring the torso parallel to the floor. And then over time, you can see if you can release from the chair back. The arms can be alongside the body here, going back, or you can go out in a T, or even forward, whatever you choose. And again, stay in the posture as long as it feels comfortable and feels stable. And then we're going to move to the other side of the chair, and we'll work the right side. So make sure you're nicely grounded on the right foot, taking the arms out. We'll see if we can bring those toes up off the mat. Okay to leave the toes on the mat if you need to. So again, find your focal point and see if you can bring those left toes up. Using a bit of concentration there to stay balanced. Warrior 3 on this side, standing on the right foot, taking the left leg out behind you and trying to bring the torso more parallel to the floor, holding on to the chair as necessary. And then we'll move behind the chair and do a version of downward facing dog. Again, I'll turn my chair here so it's easier to see. We're going to have the hands shoulder width apart on the chair, and then we're going to walk back until the arms fully extend, and then we're just going to bend at the hip crease and bring the head down between our elbows. Again, we'll press the sit bones back and take a few nice deep breaths here. And then softly bend the knees and press on up and walk into the chair. And then you can take a nice sun breath here. And then we're going to go into the warrior postures, and we'll start with warrior 1. We'll have the chair in front of us. We're going to step the right foot just under the chair a little bit. The toes are underneath, and we're going to step the left foot back with the toes just turning a little bit out to the side. If you're feeling wobbly, you can have a wider base here. So we're going to stand nice and tall. We're just going to bend that forward leg. We'll come into what is called a lunge position, which strengthens the forward leg, stretches the back leg. And then you can take your hands to your hips if you choose. Again, keep one hand on the chair back if you need. And then you can raise those arms overhead if you feel comfortable doing so. A slight back bend here. Proud warrior 1. And then we'll press that forward leg straight, release, and step the feet together. Then we'll step the left toes under the chair a bit and step the right foot back. Again, the right toes go out to the side just a bit. We want to keep the hips and the shoulders squared forward here. You can softly bend the forward leg, trying to keep that knee above the ankle or slightly behind the ankle. And then if you choose, you can bring those arms overhead. And then a slight back bend. And then you can straighten that forward leg and come up to standing. We're going to go into Proud Warrior 2, a series here. Again, keep the chair in front of you if you think you need it. I'm going to take mine off to the side for a moment. For the warrior postures, we want to take a moderate to broad base here so we can bend the forward leg. Again, just slightly tucking the tailbone. And then we take the arms into what we call the 5-point star position. You're going to turn your left foot in. The left foot will be the back foot as we begin. And we're going to turn the right foot away from the body completely. And then we'll take our gaze over those right fingertips. And check now that your left arm is as high off the ground as your right arm is. There's a tendency for that back arm to droop a little bit. We're going to look over the right fingertips. Take a nice inhalation. And then as you exhale, just softly bend that forward leg. Again, you want to keep the knee over the ankle or slightly behind it. Beautiful, proud warrior. We're proud, confident, strong, able to meet life's challenges. We're going to turn that right palm up. We'll windmill that arm and hand overhead. Left arm and hand go down along the back side of the body. We still keep that bend in the forward leg. Keep weight in the back foot as well. Come back up. Now we'll go into what we call extended side angle. We bend the right arm and bring the forearm down to the right thigh. We allow the left hand to windmill overhead and then reach away from the back foot, getting a nice diagonal stretch. And then let's press into that forward foot, bring ourselves back into proud warrior, press up, turn the feet parallel, and just take a moment to rest. You could take a sun breath here if you'd like. And then we work the other side. 5-point star first. Now the right foot turns in, left foot turns away. We gaze out over the left fingertips. Nice deep inhalation here. And then on the exhalation, just softly bend. Again, you might have to walk that foot out a little bit more. Proud, confident, resilient, strong. Reverse warrior, turning the left palm up, windmilling that overhead, right arm and hand down along the back side of the body, breathing. Come back into warrior two, now extended side angle on this side. So bending the left arm, bringing the forearm down to your left thigh, we windmill the right arm overhead, reaching away from the back toes here. And then come back into warrior two. Press up, turn your feet parallel, and we'll gently step the feet together. Just a few more movements as we're coming towards the end of the class here. Let's go into Hanuman again, just a little bit to stretch out the low back area, hamstring muscles just a bit. And then carefully press on up and take a nice sun breath. And then we'll come back to center and do a nice final twist here. Taking the arms out, bringing the forearms on top of each other. Take your gaze now towards the right elbow. On an inhalation, we take the right elbow and the gaze back to the right. On the exhalation, coming back to center. Inhaling, let's twist to the left. Exhale back. Off to the right. Come back to center. Off to the left. Come back to center. One more time to the right. And back. And one more time to your left. And come back. Very good. And we'll release. We're going to do 2 movements from Tai Chi and Qigong, which are very relaxing, a nice thing to do towards the end of the class. So we're going to take the hands back by the shoulders. This is called push-pull. You're going to take a nourishing in-breath here. And then on the exhalation, press away and cleanse the body. Imagine any toxins going to the far reaches of the universe. Turn your palms towards you again. Draw in nourishment on the inhalation. Exhale to cleanse. Very soothing. This can also be thought of as releasing negative energy as you press out, and then drawing in positive thoughts, positive energy. Let's do another one here. Exhale. Inhale. And then on this last one, we're going to press any excess energy downward towards the earth. And then gathering stars, turning the palms forward, we're going to inhale up, scoop up the energy from the moon and the stars and bring that home to the very core of your being. Again, inhaling up, exhaling down, and let's do one more. and then we can return to the chair for the final relaxation. Today, I'll be repeating a series of words 3 times. I ask you just to think of what the words mean to you and then how they relate to one another. It can be very calming in these times. So let's close the eyes, again go inward, honoring ourselves for our practice here today, for the work that we've done to strengthen and stretch the body, increase our range of motion, and work on balance. Imagine the energy channels within you being open and beautiful prana or life force energy flowing throughout the entire physical body, bringing everything into a greater sense of well-being. And now I'll repeat the series of words. As I breathe in peace, I breathe out respect. As I breathe in respect, I breathe out empathy. As I breathe in empathy, I breathe out compassion. As I breathe in compassion, I breathe out love. As I breathe in love, I breathe out peace. Breathe in peace. Breathe out respect. Breathe in respect. Breathe out empathy. Breathe in empathy. Breathe out compassion. Breathe in compassion. Breathe out love. Breathe in love. And breathe out peace. Breathe in peace. Breathe out respect. Breathe in respect. Breathe out empathy. Breathe in empathy. Breathe out compassion. Breathe in compassion. Breathe out love. Breathe in love. And breathe out peace. And now we'll bring our awareness back to the room, to this place in time, this Monday morning in the month of July. And we'll slowly open the eyes, but again, we'll keep our gaze soft. We bring the hands together at the heart center. If you choose, you can connect the thumbs with the heart center and then bow the head. May we always acknowledge and always honor our own goodness and our own light. And may we see it first in ourselves so we can recognize it more easily in others. And then our soul-to-soul greeting and parting, namaste. The light within me sees, acknowledges, and honors the light within you. And thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope we can do this again soon. Stay safe and be well. And until we meet again, goodbye.